everybody, and welcome back to Donut Like, Donut Read. I am Adam, at your service, and with me today I have Clemens.
Hello there.
And Julius.
Hey.
And today we are reading The First Lost Girl by our good friend Yakumo One Human, the author who wrote the Inuyasha one-shot about Inuyasha asking out a tomboy in high school.
Yeah, and it seems this person really likes tomboys, or at least has a tomboy OC.
Yeah, maybe they are the tomboy.
Because Dana is the main character in this, I guess.
Yeah, she's the main character, and in this set of Inuyasha, she's, I guess, I don't know, maybe she's going after, it says, it's titled, it's romance, maybe she's going to go after Peter Pan in this one. It says here.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Dana is an orphan who is a tomboy. Her and a group of boys head to Neverland. Things happen, and she starts to show her femininity towards Peter. Okay.
Oh God, put that back, please. I don't want to see your femininity.
Ew. Sooner or later, they're gonna find her secreat out. Sorry for any spelling problems. There is kissing, so don't R.
Don't or you mean don't R. You get it because of Captain Hook.
If you do not R, then donut. I have a blank here.
And maybe this is going in reverse. Don't read if you don't like. Do not read if you do not like. I mean, who is going to get mad going on to fanfiction.net and reading a story about that has kissing, of all things?
Yeah.
It's rated K+, so maybe kissing is a bit too heavy stuff.
Too raunchy for the kids, yeah.
K+ for kissing.
Okay, so here's the first chapter. Chapter 1. Today was a ordinary day at the orphanage. Off to a great start.
Good start.
Only today, boys were talking about the arrival, that's not spelled right, of Peter Pan. I was very curious. They said he took boys who didn't want to be here to Neverland, and no girl ever went there. Well, today was
No girls allowed.
Yeah, girls have cooties. No girls allowed. Well, today was going to change that prophecy. Proficky. I, Dana, like I, Robot, will be going to Neverland with the boys, even if I have to stay quiet about my identity. At least I am a tomboy and never do that much girl stuff.
Because if I did, surely the universe would end or something? Question mark?
Yeah, that way, you can be a tomboy and no one will ever guess you're a girl. Impossible.
How do the other boys not know she's a girl? Surely the orphanage must know, right?
They keep the girls in a separate wing of the orphanage, because they don't want the cooties to spread.
But she's with the boys for some reason. Or else she wouldn't have even heard about these stories.
Maybe she's already undercover.
Maybe in her passport it says tomboy, and so the underpaid orphanage person just read boy. Okay, she's going in with the boys.
Yeah.
You know what? Makes sense.
It makes much sense as everything else here.
But I like the idea of having tomboy in your on your ID. It's your official gender.
It's like, I think it was when we were reading the Gumball stories, there was one character and it's like her gender was bisexual or tomboy.
Oh yeah.
It was something like that. This girl is going to head out with a group of boys who don't want to stay here. Mother would be proud of me for doing this. As she always said, try new things no one has done before. Apparently a lot of people have done this, so...
My mother was really into hustle culture.
Yeah. I love that saying, and it shall be remembered in my 12-year-old head. Okay? I couldn't wait for nightfall, so I could finally leave this place. Nanny is always complaining about the Peter poppycock. Yet each year around the same time at night, kids always disappear. So I believe, it's true. Are we sure this is Peter Pan and not like a human trafficker?
Yeah, and the orphanage isn't doing anything about this. You don't want to do anything about, like, kids disappearing every year at the same date?
Remember, everybody, if your kid goes missing, Peter Pan took them. You don't have to worry anymore.
Maybe close your fucking windows at night. Maybe don't leave the gates wide open.
The orphanage can't afford to take in all the kids. This is how they reduce the numbers when no one can get adopted. Just leave the doors open for Peter Pan to come and take them.
But oh well, I guess Peter Pan is true. Kids go missing. There's no other explanation.
Checkmate, Peter Pan deniers.
Peter Pan deniers when
kid goes missing.
Sid Science has not stopped Peter Pan from taking their kid away.
Tonight was the night the boys would meet Peter Pan and head off. I am going to be one of the lucky kids who will be living in Neverland and not become a pirate. I heard that most kids who come get caught by the pirates and is forced to be one. How do you know this if they don't come back? How do they know any of this?
Yeah. I mean, in the original narrative, do they know? I think they know about Peter Pan there.
I thought Peter Pan was just a story. And I don't know. I've only seen the Disney version. I don't know what the actual book is like.
Yeah, fair enough.
They all do because they don't want to die. If by chance I get caught, there's that word again, by those savages, I will walk the plank and dive into the water. I sure am glad I was taught how to swim when my mom was still alive. I don't think the issue with walking the plank was whether or not you knew how to swim. Like, isn't the idea that you'd be in the ocean and you would probably die of exhaustion if you're not eaten by a shark or an alligator?
I mean, probably, but those, like the Neverland pirates, I think they tend to stay by the coast.
That is true.
I'd imagine they'd tie the kids up before sending them over the plank. Like, that's what I would do if I was a pirate and for some reason I wanted to send someone over the plank. I'd probably tie them up just in case.
Yeah, if you were a pirate, but what if you were a comically inept pirate who didn't know shit? We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see.
So I'm not an orphan, so I don't know how it is for you orphans out there if it's really that bad to learn how to swim when your mom is dead, but I'm glad that Dana was able to be taught how to swim when her mom was alive.
Well, only moms can tell their kids how to swim.
Yeah. That's a privileged thing, too. You're like, oh, those kids don't know how to swim. Like, maybe they didn't have moms, you dick.
Yeah.
I never see my cup half empty. I always look to the bright side, yet I still have regret on what has happened. I don't mope around. I am glad my mom died and that my dad hated me, or I would never have gotten the chance to go to Neverland. Fuck you, Dana.
I'm glad my mom died. Jeanette McCurdy, anyone? Good book, by the way. Go read that.
So, like, it's never said that her mom was terrible. She said she loved her mom. Her mom was great. And then, oh, I'm glad she's dead. That way I can get to hang out with Peter Pan.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a small sacrifice.
I'm glad that she was alive to teach me how to swim, but I'm also glad that she didn't stick around much longer.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't get to meet Peter Pan.
There's a difference between seeing the silver lining of a terrible situation and saying, I'm glad that terrible shit happened.
Yeah.
So, what we really want to say is go call your mom if you have a good one and tell her that you love her.
Yeah, please do. I'm glad that I grew up in a house where I don't have to act like a lady or I wouldn't be a frisky tomboy. What? I don't like that. I don't like this anymore.
So they don't care how you act in this orphanage?
I guess.
Sure.
How there are some downsides, but why should I worry?
Lana, you have to go to the park now,
cried Nanny. I picked up my basket and headed out to catch up to all the others. I always picked pine cones and other fun things. I never liked to play with the girls.
Get quiet!
Girls are bad. Girls only play with dolls and makeup and stuff.
Yeah.
Collecting or roughhousing is for me.
You know, those boys always collecting.
Collecting, yeah. Girls don't have collections, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, you know, all those, that's what those, like, rowdy rough boys like to do. They collect post stamps.
Yeah, you know, when we were just a society of hunters and gatherers, the woman went hunt and me and the boys were out collecting.
Yeah.
I was gathering medicine and swords for the Lost Boys and I to fight Captain Hook and his pirates. Where are you finding swords?
Maybe the orphanage is next to the sword factory and they throw all their defunct swords into their backyard because there are no environmental laws.
Wait, did you read the line before that?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I made pretend I was gathering medicine and sword.
No,
okay.
Did you read the one before that?
Oh, today no boys were playing, so I went to collect items.
Yeah, because that's a good line.
Yeah, I must have missed that, I don't know.
I picked up some mushrooms, like you do.
Okay, so I guess she wasn't actually collecting swords. I mean, that would have been funnier, but... Okay. I found a dagger and went to show it to Nanny. Was it real, or she just pretended?
No, the next line, yeah.
I picked it up and cut myself.
So it is a real dagger, I guess.
Yeah. Maybe the sword factory theory isn't too far off.
You know, sometimes it happens. Sometimes you like to pretend you're collecting swords to fight Captain Hook, and then wouldn't you know it, there's a real dagger right in front of you. It's like when you go out treasure hunting with your metal detector and instead of finding a treasure, you find a bomb from the Second World War.
Just a bomb. I carried it to Nanny and handed it over. She gasped and threw it out quickly. I walked over to the boys and joined that over there conversation.
So, who here is going with Peter?
A few boys raised their hands in response. Response. A different group of boys were hearing a boy's story on what happens there.
Good sentence.
The pirates are ruthless and are always trying to kill Peter and anyone who tries to help him. If you get caught by the pirates, you better be one of them or walk the plank. Last time someone walked the plank, there was a loud splash and they died instantly.
Instantly? What kind of water is this?
It's like one of those video games where the protagonist can't swim. The moment they touch the water, they're dead.
Oh yeah, that boy, Link from... Wait, what was the... What's that again? Can't he swim in? I think most of the 2D ones.
Probably. I was thinking of Grand Theft Auto Vice City. The moment Tommy lands in the water, he's done. I rebutted.
Rebooted?
Rebutted.
It wasn't the fact that the water killed him, it was the fact that a croc follows Hook around. I know this because I was there, I guess. Always trying to... Go ahead.
What does croc mean again? Like, it's not like crocodile. That's croc, like...
Oh, yeah.
A fake person? Like a...
The shoe, maybe?
Some guy who's full of shit just follows Captain Hook around and kills people.
Always trying to eat him ever since, Pan slit his hand off and gave it to the croc. Which is also how Hook is able to get that shiny hook on his hand. Well, I guess he's like, well, actually I'm glad that my hand got chopped off, because if it didn't, I wouldn't be able to have this nice hook on my arm now.
Everyone's looking on the bright side.
Yeah. He wants to go after Peter for giving his hand to the croc who is out to eat the rest of him.
The boys oohed and awed at my story.
Ooh.
Ah. I left to get a water bottle so I can wash out my cut. I picked up a bottle Nanny was handing out and poured it on my hand. It stung, but it sanitized the cut. Yeah,
what?
Water
Wait, why is the water stinging? And how is the water sanitizing your cut? I mean, to be fair, I guess for like normal cuts, like for cuts, usually you're supposed to just use water, I think. Because disinfectant would irritate it and make it worse, actually, I think.
No, water can help, but doesn't sanitize it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but isn't this in a medieval time period, so if she has clean water, that is probably as good as she's gonna get.
It wasn't any clean water back then. Everyone just drank beer.
Must not comment about historical myth anyway.
Everyone headed back to the center to get ready for bed. I was only going to get clothing to use on my adventures with Peter. This was going to be great.
So if she's not gonna be taken by Peter, she is naked?
I guess, yeah. Well, normally she would sleep naked, but since Peter's gonna take her, she's gonna sleep in clothes this time.
Yeah, I mean, if she was naked, Peter would see that she's a girl and wouldn't bring her along.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also fair. Yeah, she can't give away her identity, or whatever it was.
Yeah. So, Clemens, how about you take this chapter of narration?
Chapter 2, Heading Out.
Alright, Peter, I'm about to head out.
I got on my baggy clothes. All the kids except for a few boys went to bed. I walked to the boys. Good thing none of them know me and none of them know some of the others.
Some of the others? Just some of them?
How big is this orphanage that there are other kids that you don't know?
Really big, I guess.
There was a huge problem in England back then with just orphans everywhere.
We all gathered by a window and opened it up. A gush of wind entered and a 14-year-old boy stood in the window. If I wasn't trying to hide my identity, I would be moaning at how he looks.
Why?
Man, I feel sorry for Adam. So far, this chapter is just perfect grammar, and the last time every second word was wrong.
This was only written a day later, too. Somehow they, improved their grammar so much in one day. Good for them.
Yeah, maybe they have this weird school schedule where they only do one topic a day for 8 hours, so she had her 8-hour English day and now is very good at English. He sprinkled dust on us and said to think happy thoughts.
Oh god, no. It's the Sandman. He's here.
Everyone did this and started to fly.
Everyone did. Oh, think happy thoughts. Okay.
And everyone started to fly. We got in a line and headed out. The night was simply wonderful. A fairy named Tinker Bell examined all of us. When she got to me, she got emotional and pulled on my hair so I would fall over. I would fall and stop flying. I didn't sack her.
See, there it is.
Yeah, my flying and continued. Peter pulled Tink off and yelled at the fairy. We continued on our way. I really am glad that no other girl has gone to Neverland or Peter would barely be taken now. Fuck
Can you
those girls.
stop being horny now, please?
Boy, is he gorgeous.
Gosh, is he gorgeous?
Those grammar classes really, like, they just wore off at this point. Back to the old author.
This is basically what I was thinking. And I also had ideas about my mother.
No, don't say that in the next sentence like that.
Why?
What is wrong with you?
Why is everything we read either borderline or straight up incestuous?
It's the gumdrop curse.
Yeah. To date this recording, I think a week ago I posted on the public server basically every story covered by the DLDR, and it was a guy in a shirt that read, I met my wife on Ancestry.com.
Oh god, can you hear the whispering?
We headed into the distance and went to Neverland. It was beautiful.
It is beautiful actually. It still is.
Yeah, it is beautiful. I was gazing at all the land. I didn't notice that Peter ordered us to stop and I hit into the boy in front of me. I didn't have a thought at the moment and started to plummet. Plummet without releasing. I was headed straight into a stump and suddenly a passage opened and I went into a hiding spot. I landed on a slide and hit into a kid. He yelled,
"We're under attack! Call Peter! Call Peter!"
All the new kids entered with Peter and Peter said,
"He fell in by accident, Chubby. Now, as you all should know, is that many times you rivals get caught and become pirates. You won't have to worry if any kid you see is a pirate, because pirates normally have suits on and stuff for adults. They wear ties. They're like businessmen around here for some reason." I guess they modernized the pirates. They're like in modern business suits and they drive on a yacht.
This is a new development.
Everyone cheered.
Yay!
Woo!
We headed up for our first task. We all were to find Hook and tell his location to Peter.
Okay.
That sounds like one of the endgame quests, not the starting quest.
Yeah.
This is a scouting mission.
Okay, you are new recruit in the US Army. Here's your first task. Locate Hitler. All the newcomers headed off with some dust from Tink. All the boys had doubt about doing this, while I had fun sailing through the clouds looking down for the ship. I called out,
"Found the ship, now let's find Took."
There were sighs and we headed to the ship. We didn't see any pirates as of yet and went on deck. I found a sword and armed myself. Swords are my specialty when dealing with a weapon.
Of course, I learned all about them in the orphanage. Or from my mom, I guess.
Yeah, her mom probably also taught her how to use a sword. It was one of those things moms teach their kids.
Yeah, no. Well, what this author forgot to tell us is that her mom was Joan of Arc, so it all makes sense.
Yeah, that's why she died.
Yeah.
Wow. That's really sad. This is a really sad story.
But maybe because she became a saint afterwards, this Dana is glad because her mother is now a saint, and that is only possible because she died.
Yeah, and that grants her like special privileges in the Catholic Church. So
I love this lore we're creating.
I flew up to the seeker's nest and looked about. A group of pirates were circling my companions.
Well, it's companions, actually.
Oh, companions.
Guess they're all in pain.
They're all pain.
I jumped down and drew my blade. I never noticed the pirate behind me that grabbed hold of me so another could take the sword out of my grasp. We all got tied to a pole. Hook came out of the captain's quarters and walked to us asking,
Actually, yeah, it's the captain's quaders.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite cereal, Captain's Quaders.
Oh, I was gonna say they're my favorite baseball team.
Yeah, both works. Maybe it's both. Oh, would any of you like to walk the plank instead of being on my crew? I think you kind of glossed over at the point where you asked them first if they want to be in your crew. I guess you really can't wait to take out the good old plank.
I mean, after hundreds of years and every time the boys going into a service, I think it's just the standard assumption that they become pirates.
Oh, come on, I know one of you at least doesn't want to be a pirate, right?
Yeah, he's done with this shit. He just wants to get on with it.
I mean, he probably has too much kid pirates at this point, and let's be honest here, most of them probably not as competent as he'd like them to be, since they're, kids. So I get where he's coming from.
All the boys started to say things to be on his crew. I looked him in the eyes and said,
I'd rather walk the plank than stay on a ship with the likes of you, Captain. If you don't mind, I will be walking the plank on my own free will.
Why was she shit-talking the girls when all the boys also just suck and go over to the pirates? The ropes were cut and I was brought to the plank. I took off my hat and released hair only a girl could have.
Of course, what? Only girls can have long hair.
Julius, do you still have long hair, Julius?
See, that's I was actually a girl the whole time. I'm very sorry. I didn't tell you before.
Plot twist.
I went to the edge. I think you went to the edge when you said you are glad that your mom died, but okay. Hook was going to go after me for being a girl, but when he reached the plank, I already dove in with a loud splash.
Arr, girl, cooties, arr.
Arr, she's not a real gamer, me boys.
The crew looked in the water and saw me place my head on my head and swim off.
Yeah, I always put on my head when I swim.
She's like Indiana Jones. She just has a hat all times.
Hook hated the fact that it was too much of a risk for him to go in the water and none of his crew knew how to swim. And what about the croc that always follows Hook?
Yeah, that's why you can't go in the water. That's why it's too risky.
Yeah, but why isn't the croc attacking Dana?
Because the croc only wants Hook, I guess.
The croc doesn't eat girls. Girls don't taste good.
Yeah. Croc's like, ugh, cooties. I bet she tastes like perfume. She tastes like Barbie dolls.
I swam to the island and dried myself off. The island.
Yeah, sure.
I took off my
Netherland, yeah.
I took off my clothes and wringed them as dry as I could. I then placed it back on my body and headed out to the hideout. So if it's that easy to escape, why didn't the boys walk the plank?
They didn't know how to swim. They didn't have moms to teach them how to swim.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. Motherless behavior.
Yeah, I remember my childhood, my father always teaching me how to collect things, but never going into the water because, water is for girls.
Yeah, well, I didn't have a father, so for me it was the opposite. Like, I can swim, but I lack the ability to collect things. Like, I don't know how to collect things. Like, I always lose them somehow. They just vanish from where I try to establish my collection. They just vanish from there. Just lose them instantly. I can never make a decent collection of anything.
Julius, if I ever visit Germany, we're going to hang out. I'm going to teach you how to collect things.
Thank you.
I better be glad that my clothes look really baggy now and don't cling to my body. I ran back in the stump and told everyone where Hook is and what happened. The Lost Boys did a honorary spit shake for me, taking the plank and surviving. Tink hated me and began to tug at my clothes till I fall down.
Got some clumsiness there, some Bella Swan levels of clumsiness.
Yeah,
just introduce in the second to last paragraph that Tink hates you. I fell and Peter punished Tink by having her stay in bed for an hour. We all started to plan our form of attack if we face Hook soon. I took Peter's sword and went outside the train. They followed me outside and saw me throwing pine cones and figs in the air and then cutting them to bits.
Damn, girl.
Wow.
That's some good swordsmanship.
I noticed them stare. They don't take the elevator. And gave Peter his sword till later. We headed out to chase animals.
And I guess that's where we end this.
They said this description line. There is kissing, so don't R. I didn't see any kissing.
I guess it was gonna happen later.
Yeah.
But I just didn't get to it.
So, we have some reviews. Monster Child did the biggest bullshit ever. Hey, I like your fic, it's a good plot. I don't mean to advertise, so I'm gonna advertise anyway, but I wrote a fic that's similar to this one. So if you, and I say later, so if you could you please read it? Fuck you. Go fuck yourself. Don't do that.
Princess Janae of the Ickney says, nice story so far. It's a bit too obvious with all the hints, i.e. she's 12 and so on. What?
What was obvious? I mean, it was standard. Oh, is that the fact that she's a girl?
Wait, obvious? What is obvious?
Yeah, I don't...
With all the hints? But what is hinting at what? What? I don't understand what this commenter means. Because, like, if she means the fact that she's a girl, that's not a secret. That's not supposed to be a plot twist, because we know from the beginning. Like, if anything, the tension would come from, oh, are they gonna find out? She's not trying to make it a plot twist that she's a girl, because she literally stated that in the description. Like, what do you mean? Too obvious. And how is she's 12 a hint? Oh, does she... Oh, I think she means the fact that... Wait, does she mean the fact that the author uses she as a pronoun?
Oh, I think
do they really think? So,
I don't.
So the author literally states the gender, and instead of going, "Oh, this is a girl," and like, when is it gonna be revealed to all the other characters? Is it gonna be revealed? Will they be mad when they find out this person thinks, oh, come on, it's too obvious she's a girl. Like, the author tried to make that a plot twist later at some point, like a reveal, when it's clearly not supposed to be.
But none of the other characters know this, so...
Anyway, but continue the story. It has potential, and soon too, because I want to read it.
18 years later, probably not happening.
Soon it will have potential, I guess.
One more paradise. This is good, but a few suggestions. 1. It was really hard to keep up with what is going on. Or it could just be just me. Some things are unclear. I think I was able to keep up with the story.
Yeah, the story... I mean, some things were maybe a little weird, but I don't think anything was unclear.
It was moving a bit... Like, it was moving a bit too fast, but not in the sense, like, I can't keep up more, in the sense that plot is moving along too fast with no, like, there's no time to add any details or any character development, because it's all just straight from one set piece into the next. No room to breathe, but, wouldn't say anything was unclear here.
2. Spell check. If you don't have one, download a free program called Jate. It has a spell check.
Fair enough.
That's about it. Other than that, it sounds interesting.
Well, obviously don't leave any reviews, because if you do...
You have to walk the plank.
Yeah,
unlike Cook, we will tie you up. We will tie up your ankles, and you will instantly die when hitting the water somehow.
Instantly. Yeah. So, for any of our listeners who have listened this far, I'll make a little announcement. My wife and I were expecting our first kid in a few months. It might have already happened by the time this released. And all I can say is I sincerely hope when the kid gets older, they don't kill us so they can go hang out with Peter Pan. Because I think that's how it works.
Yeah, let's hope.
Yeah, and I don't mean to advertise, but we have a Discord and a Tumblr in the description.
How dare you advertise that here?
It has only one user right now, and we're really sad. It doesn't have only one user, but we'd still like you to join.
And we have our request form linked in the description. So if you find anything that's funny and that's under 5,000 words, feel free to send it our way. Or also movies. If you find a bad movie, if you found the Lost Joseph Lie tape, send it our way.
And remember, if you do not like, don't R.
R.
Thanks
Bye.
for watching.
Later.